Thanks so much for joining us for DC News Now. I'm Susan Tran.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Flanagan. DC News Now is your local election headquarters. Tonight, we look forward at the possible future of our country.
We have team coverage for you tonight on all the results of the presidential election. Our Max Marcilla is outside of Howard University tonight, where just hours ago, Vice President Kamala Harris conceded, but also called on her supporters not to give up the fight.
Yeah, but first, our Marielle Carbone live in studio tonight. And Marielle, with former President Trump winning a new term, there could be some big changes in the district.
Yeah, Chris, there certainly could be, and what they will be still unclear. There are some concerns about the impact to D.C. statehood, with House Republicans already working to overturn some key pieces of D.C. legislation these last few years. So beyond that, the fate of federal workers also uncertain.
This is the most important job in the world.
With President-elect Donald Trump now on his way to the White House, voters are considering what that means for them.
I was disappointed.
I'm very excited for President Trump win.
Here in the DMV, one of the biggest impacts could be on federal workers.
I hope federal workers are always protected.
Under his Agenda 47 plan, Trump proposes relocating 100,000 federal jobs out of the D.C. area. And under the right-wing Project 2025, which Trump has tried to distance himself from, comes a proposal to overhaul the federal government, removing civil servant positions.
So there is a possibility that we could be looking at a pretty tumultuous time for federal employment.
Dr. Stephen Farnsworth is a professor of political science with the University of Mary Washington.
I think a lot of people who are connected with their jobs here will wait and see what happens.
Still, he says the most immediate employment impact will be for Hill staffers.
You're thinking about a majority party becoming a minority party in the Senate or the House.
Wednesday, Everett Kelly, president of the American Federation of Government Employees, saying members will continue to do their jobs regardless of who is in the White House. But, quote, our union will not stand by and let any political leader, regardless of their political affiliation, run roughshod over the Constitution and our laws. Now, as for D.C. statehood, Trump has threatened to take over D.C. if elected. Tonight, the ACLU of D.C. calling his win a grave threat to our rights and self-governance in the district. In studio, Marielle Carbone, D.C. News Now.
Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we accept the results of this election.
Vice President Harris conceding the election today. She first called Donald Trump, then delivered a concession speech at her alma mater, Howard University. Thousands of students and Harris supporters were there for it. DC News Now's Max Marcilla joining us live from Howard tonight. And Max, you spoke with many people who tell you they're sad, but also they feel motivated.
That's right, Chris. Look, the mood here was definitely somber after that speech wrapped up. There were some teary-eyed people walking out of the yard here at Howard. But look, while they say they are definitely disappointed in the results of the election, they also said they felt hopeful by the message Vice President Kamala Harris tried to convey. Not only the message she tried to convey inspired them, but where she did it as well.
Light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service.
A concession and a message of hope from Vice President Kamala Harris and a nod to her alma mater's motto in front of Bison, who over the previous day watched her presidential aspirations fall short to President-elect Donald Trump.
Today I was very moved, very down, very sad.
Whether they were inside watching or huddled outside watching on their phones, these young supporters told us they felt not only sadness but also encouragement.
Sometimes it feels like our hands are tied. We still got to pull up our sleeves and still do the work.
Harris delivering the message at Howard, which meant something to the current Bison.
She always remembered where she came from and her roots every step of the way, so I really loved that.
Since Monday, campus life has been interrupted. After the speech, signs of a return to normalcy. Security gates are coming down, road closures are coming to an end. The VP says a peaceful transfer of power is next. She's already spoken to President-elect Trump and is encouraging her supporters to accept the results and continue the work.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people.
Now, you heard from at least one of the students we spoke with the importance of the connection between Vice President Harris and Howard University. Well, after Harris's speech, Howard University put out a tweet saying no matter what the results of the election were, they applauded Harris as what they called the highest ranking woman ever in public service. Reporting live at Howard University, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
And gracious speech there, Max. Thank you. We have the results now for Virginia's 7th congressional race. Democrat Eugene Vindman has officially been declared the winner. He narrowly beat Republican Derek Anderson to keep the seat blue, but Anderson has not conceded. His campaign says, quote, the process is ongoing and thousands of uncounted ballots remain. We want to make sure everyone's voice is heard in this extremely close race. Now to 2 key district races that we've been watching. Initiative 83 will bring about ranked choice voting and open primaries. The ballot question had an overwhelming win. There was also the Ward 8 council race where incumbent Trayon White, who is charged in a bribery case, won re-election. Our Daniel Hamburg will have more on those races ahead at 9:30.
Meanwhile, in Maryland, Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks making history. She's been elected as the first black woman to represent Maryland in the U.S. Senate. Alsobrooks defeating Republican Larry Hogan, the former 2-term governor. DC News Now's Tim Reed has more on Alsobrooks breaking barriers.
Election night was historic for Angela Alsobrooks. After serving as Prince George's County executive, she is now the senator-elect from Maryland. Her supporters say they are ready for her to make a difference.
And also want to just give a special shout out to my hometown, Prince George's County, Maryland.
Maryland Senator-elect Angela Alsobrooks is celebrating a big victory after she beat Larry Hogan Tuesday night and becomes the first African-American woman senator from Maryland.
And to those Marylanders whose support I have yet to earn, I may not have won your vote, but I want you to know that I hear your voice and I will be your senator too.
Her supporters say they are proud of her accomplishment and her service she has performed over the years as county executive and 2 terms as the county's state's attorney.
Especially for black women and for our young girls to see, that's really important, that someone can, female can make it.
Well, I think it's big, and I think she would do what she need to do for the people of Maryland, not just politics itself, but what she need to do.
Tuesday night was also big for Jolene Ivey. She is the Prince George's County Council chairperson. She won the special election for the vacant council at large seat, but wants to become the next county executive.
Well, I want to be the county executive because there's no one better to fill that role. And I just know that for the good of the county, we need somebody who's going to focus on the needs of the county.
As for Angela Alsobrooks, she told her supporters Tuesday is a night she will never forget.
And from the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every Marylander.
Alsobrooks says she is ready to make a difference for all of Maryland. In Lanham, Tim Reed, DC News Now.
All right, for continuing coverage on the election, just head to dcnewsnow.com, and there you will find results, analysis, and speeches.
All right, one thing we can all agree on today, regardless of your party, just this weather. Fantastic, right?
Nice and warm, even a little humid, I would say. All right,
definitely.
Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. Also, we broke some records today.
Yeah, multiple records across the DMV. As expected, we called these yesterday for all major airports, BWI, Dulles into DCA, beating record of 83 degrees, and areas like Martinsburg, Washington County, 83 to 82, tying that record officially out towards Anne Arundel County. It's a good look, right, for November standards. Tomorrow, we hit repeat on this situation into the upper 70s. We're not going to beat multiple records, but still a very toasty day and still a very toasty evening. Your overnight, a very mild, even record lows will be broken for tonight. 71 for DC metro area, extending up the corridor of I-95. A little bit cooler for Fairfax County into Luray. And the cloud coverage, it's very noticeable due to a front that's hanging out well to our west, and that is going to make its way across the DMV going into tomorrow afternoon. So waking up tomorrow very mild and toasty. May leave the house without a coat, 68, but you're going to need that coat for your evening commute as the temperatures start to tumble. I'll have more on your extended forecast. It's coming up.
All right, sounds like we have to bring the jacket anyway for the night. Thank you, Janessa. Now over to Maryland, where Hyattsville police are searching for 5 suspects in a double shooting. One victim is apparently a celebrity chef and former NFL player, Tobias Dorzon. Investigators say that the group tried to rob Dorzon and a woman while they were leaving a restaurant last night at Kirkwood Place. They were shot and rushed to the hospital. A Prince George's County council member saying that Dorzon owns 2 restaurants in the region and was just named a Chef of the Year by the Restaurant Association of Maryland. Dorzon played for the Titans and Buccaneers.
And tonight we're learning more about the man accused of trying to get into the Capitol building on Election Day, smelling of fuel and carrying a flare gun. Capitol Police say Austin Olson smelled like he doused his clothing in gasoline, then tried to get into the Capitol Visitor Center with a flare gun, torch gun, and bottles of fuel. Investigators say the Michigan man was trying to put the bag of suspicious items through an X-ray machine when security stopped him. Investigators also say they found what appears to be a manifesto and a letter to Congress that centered around the war in the Middle East. They say Olson traveled from Michigan and arrived here in D.C. on Monday.